All right, guys, let's do this. I to the 29th. Okay, same thing. I'm going to do two ways. 29 divided by 4. I'm going to try 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, so you got 1. This is your remainder's 1. Remember, when we talked about this, if your remainder's 1, that means your final answer is just going to be I. So box this up. Let's do it the second way, which is, okay, I to the 29th. I'm going to try to make it to I to the 28th because I don't want to have to remember, you know, if I divide by 4, my remainder is this, what would that be? All I know, guys, it's I squared is -1. That's all I know. I to the 28th is going to give me I squared. And to the 14th power, because I need 14 pairs of I squared to make a power of 28. That's what it means. And then this is a single I that will stay. I squared is -1. -1 to the 14th power. Whoops, that 14th power looks a little monkey. 14th power times I. A negative number to an even power is always positive. 1 times I is I. So as you can see, doesn't matter which way. Pick a way that you like. The first way, you do have to memorize the remainder, okay, and what it gets. I'm going to do one more. We have 2 examples left. We have example I to the 48th and I to the 143. I'm going to do one and then I'm going to leave one for you guys to do. 48, take it and divide it by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract. That one gets 0. Bring down the 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. No remainder. Remainder 0. If your remainder is 0, then this right here is your final answer. This is when we have no remainder. Okay? So that's going to give us a 1. So I to the I'm not right. I to the 48th power equals 1. Box that up. And I'm going to try the second method. Okay. As long as you get the same answer, it doesn't matter. I to the 48th, guys, I can make all I know. It's I squared is going to be -1. This is all I need. I to the 48th. If I were to make I squared, I would need how many pairs of I squared? That's what you're trying to get to. So that means I am going to get 24 pairs of I squared. And I squared is going to be -1. -1, guys, to an even power, which is 24 in this case, it's always going to be positive. So it's going to come out to be 1. So you can have first method or second method. You should have the same answer. Okay, I want you guys to try out I to the 143rd. Pick a method, it doesn't matter, okay? And then see what you can get. All right, so as you can see, I did it both ways, okay? Dividing by 4 to see the remainder and making pairs of I squared. So either way, our answer should be exactly the same. Students, you don't have to copy both. Just pick one method and go with it. Example 9 to 16, guys, it said simplify without the calculator. So on your exam, you will have one part that you cannot use a calculator on. So please do not use a calculator when it says without a calculator. Okay, so square root of a -121. So first, I would like for you to copy all of the steps down. A -121, students, is the same thing as -1 times positive 121. Extend the bar if you guys have a square root bar that's too small. Then break this up. Anytime you have a product, means multiplication under the radical, you can break it up as 2 different radicals multiplying one another. And square root, students, square root of a -1, it's always I. And I square, it's always negative 1. So this turns into an I, and square root of 121, you should really have this memorized. Okay, that's a perfect square number times 11. So final answer is you have to write the numbers first, so 11I. All right, let's go a little bit faster now. First, write it as negative 1 times positive 7. Break it up as a square root of negative 1 times square root of 7. 7 is not a nice square number, but square root of negative 1, it's I. So times 7, square root of 7. So we can write the I times square root of 7. The only time that the number is going to be in the back, guys, is when it's not a whole number. Okay, so square root of a negative 20. Break it up again, negative 1 times 20. Break it up as negative 1 times a positive 20. So this is going to be an I. Positive 20, students, is going to be 5 times 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So this is going to be I, or you can write one more step like this. Do a 4 first, and then times square root of 5. So this is I times 2 times square root of 5. And we're going to write our answer 2I times square root of 5, just like that. 12, negative in the front. If you don't see a negative number in the front, students, feel free to write as a negative 1. So it's going to look like this. Negative 1 times square root of 1 inside times square root of negative 1, inside, and then times 63. So negative 1, break it up as square root of negative 1 times 63. 63, students, is going to be 9 times 7. So negative 1 times I times square root of 9 times square root of 7. So this is negative I times square root of 3 times square root of 7. So that's going to say negative 3I times square root of 7. Copy down all of the steps, please. Okay, you try this one, but I'm going to help you out first. I'm going to break this up as negative 1 times 98. Okay, then I'm going to help you one more. Break it up as negative 1 under the square root times a positive square root of 98. We can definitely turn square root of negative 1 into an I. Okay, 98, we know it's an even number, so we can divide by 2. 2 times 98, students, is 49, and 49 is a nice square number, so we can technically write square root of 49 first times square root of 2. And square root of 49 is 7. So this is I times 7 times square root of 2, which is really 7I times square root of 2. Okay. So what do you do when you are multiplying your imaginary numbers together? So we have 3I times 9I. Okay. So if we have 3I times 9I, put all the real numbers together. So 3 times 9. Then put all the imaginary numbers together, just like that. So 3 times 9 is 27, times I is I square. Students, I square is, you have to simplify this out. I square is negative 1. So this gets multiplied by negative 1. So final answer is negative 27. All right, this one, again, put all the real numbers together. Negative 7 times 3 times I. That's going to be negative 21 times I square. Negative 21, I square is negative 1. So negative 21 times negative 1 is a positive 21. Okay, so example 16, we have, let's break it down. Okay, every time you see a negative under the root, guys, rewrite it, okay? Negative 1 times positive 10 times negative 1 times positive 90. And break it up. Negative 1 under the rad times square root of 10 times square root of a negative 1 times square root of 90. But 90, you know that's 9 times 10. All right, so this right here turns into an I. Square root of 10 stays. I'm taking a lot more steps. So this is all multiplication times I times square root of 9 times square root of 10. So I times I, put it together as I square. So let me write it first. I times I, okay? Then we want to write square root of 9, which we know is 3. Square root of 9 is 3. We have square root of 10, and there are 2 of those. So what you want to do is put it together. Okay, so if we can write them out, we can put them together under one big radical when you have more than 1. Well, we know square root of 10 times 10 is square root of 100, which is back down to 10. So I squared times 3 times 10. And I squared is -1. 3 times 10 is going to be 30. So students, your final answer is -30. As you can see, you don't have any i's left in here, okay? So kind of take a minute to figure out what's difficult for you, or write yourself a reminder of, hey, you know what? How do I simplify i's? Or what were the 4 things that you have to have? What happened when you have a remainder of 1, or remainder of 2, or remainder of 3, or no remainders at all?